Right. Okay, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. The Spencer Board of Alderman pre-agenda meeting. It's now 5:30 p.m., July 9th, 2026. This time, the word of prayer. Lord, we thank you for gathering today to discuss the business of the town of Spencer. We're thankful for the workers, department heads, and most of all, our residents. Lord, put us in position so we can continue to make this town grow in the right way. In your name we pray. Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I see we have some people sign up for the public hearing. Thank you. Okay, next we have the proposed rezoning of parcel 032-112 at 600 South Salisbury Avenue from CIV, from Civic, to MS Main Street zoning classification. I'm gonna open this floor for public hearing, and Mr. Blunt will provide the narrative.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you.
This one you have seen before, and it's fairly simple, but we'll run through it very quickly. This is parcel 032112, which is the old town hall facility. I'll take you through a few slides that we normally show you on rezonings. This is the location on 6th Street and South Salisbury Avenue. It's a little closer view so you can see the surrounding buildings. This is without the color, so you can actually see what the roof of the existing building looks like. This is from Salisbury Avenue. This is from 6th Street. And this is from 7th Street. This is a zoning map showing what the surrounding zoning is. We always have to overcome the concern that it might be spot rezoning where we're putting some kind of incompatible zoning in an area. As you can see, there's a great deal of MS zoning already in the downtown core area, so this would not be considered spot rezoning. The purpose of the rezoning is the town has been approached by numerous people, not numerous, but several people interested in renovating the building into office space or some other similar use. We found out in our review that the CIV zoning classification, which it currently has, although it's very good for government offices, it does not allow private office space. So a rezoning was required to allow that private office space to be developed. And that's why we were suggesting so. We have had, this is probably advertised for public hearing. We've had a neighborhood meeting, which nobody showed up for. It comes before you tonight for the purpose of a public hearing. And then it will be in the Tuesday agenda for consider the adoption of it. With that, I'll answer any questions, and then you can have your public hearing.
Any questions?
You may not have anybody for.
Thank you, Mr. Blunt. Okay, Mr. Johnny Birch Jr., have you on the list to speak? You can come. Sir? Oh, he's for Hawkins. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just off.
Okay, so okay, my apologies. So I guess there's no one that signed up for this one.
No, not that.
Correct.
Not
okay. So I guess we can go. Is there a motion at this time to end the public hearing?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move to close the public hearing.
Okay. Motion is moved by.
Second.
The motion was made by Alderwoman Sledge and second by Alderwoman New. All those in favor, by show of hands. All those opposed. Let's have it. Carries. Public hearing is closed. Now we're going to move on to the public hearing proposed for annexation of rezoning of parcel 324052 at 607 Hawkinstown Road, agriculture to RMST, the residential street transit, main street transition zoning classification. I'm going to open the floor at this time. Mr. Blunt,
Yes, sir.
provide the narrative.
This one's a little longer presentation. We've, as indicated before, this has been properly advertised and a sign posted. We have had the neighborhood meeting for the rezoning. This public hearing is for the rezoning and the annexation of this site. And I'll walk you through the various slides and then we'll have a little commentary at the end. This is the site located at approximately 607 Hawkinstown Road. It's not an addressed site, so the actual road address is approximate at this point. This zooms in a little closer so you can see that it stretches from Hawkinstown Road to the south to Grants Creek. Just for informational purposes, it's the last parcel going west within Spencer's ETJ, so we won't be going any farther west than this. The reason for this rezoning and annexation is the current property owner has expressed a desire to develop a 30-lot residential subdivision with single-family homes. This is a preliminary site plan. It has not been approved this time. That's a little closer view of it so you can see the layout of the lots, a cul-de-sac at the end, the storm water management system, playground in the upper right-hand corner of that drawing. This turns that site plan and lays it over the actual parcel so you can see how it will lay in. You'll notice in that slide to the right is a preliminary aerial view of the Hawkins Meadows townhome project nearby. There are townhomes under construction now, so that's gone a little farther than that photograph would indicate. For this parcel, this is a view from Hawkinstown Road facing west. And this is a view looking east. It is a heavily wooded lot at this time. This is an aerial view, again, showing the site in yellow. This view shows you the surrounding homes on Hawkinstown Road. This is a zoning map for the town of Spencer. The requested rezoning is to RMST, which is a residential zoning classification. All of the zoning classifications in this area, including the AG, are residential classifications, with the only difference being in the density allowed and the dimensional requirements for the lots. I included this slide. Everything to the left, most of the yellows are Salisbury's zoning classifications. But I wanted you to have a sense of the type of development that's taking place in this general area, not just in the Spencer side, but in the Salisbury side. As you can see, there are a lot of residential subdivisions in this area. We're going to take this a little farther and show you some information on past development patterns in this area. This is from a 1903 road map that I found online. And that line, I think, points to what at that time was a driveway that went to Samuel Hawkins' farm and a few other buildings. As you note, it does not connect to 7th Street because there was no 7th Street in 1903. In 1930, 7th Street had been created, bridge across Grants Creek. Hawkinstown Road did connect to both 7th Street and Old Moxville Road. This is a couple aerial photographs from 1955 that I stitched together. And then I pulled out a magnifying glass trying to figure out what was a house and what was a driveway. Mostly what you see is that most of it was an agricultural fields in 1955. I did try to figure out roughly where houses were. And I think that's 7 homes that I identified on Hawkinstown Road at that time. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see some more slides on this later. This was a subdivision that was platted as early as 1954 called Feldmead Subdivision, and it still exists to this day. This is a 1994 aerial photograph. Obviously, the farm fields had been changed into wooded land for the most part. Some still farmed over on Moxville Road, but most of the farming had stopped. Residential growth had taken place along Hawkinstown Road and some subdivisions in that area. Don't know how many houses that is. But it's a lot more than the 7 we saw back in 1955. So residential development along Hawkinstown Road and accessory drives had taken place during that period. This is the latest aerial photography I have, 2025. A lot of subdivision, a lot of homes built in that area. And as I was looking through this, I discovered that there were lots of subdivisions that were platted through the years. I mentioned the Bellmead subdivision in 1954. There was also a Wesley Heights subdivision. Wesley Heights subdivision actually is the property that we're looking at today. It was originally subdivided in 1957. And then through the years, 59, 63, 78, there were other subdivisions. And I'll bounce through some subdivision plats. That's Bellmead. It's turned 90 degrees to the right, so Hawkinstown Road is to the left, and 7th Street, what was then County Highway 60, run across the bottom, but turn that 90 degrees to the left, and you'll see how it was laid out. Some of those streets were built, some of them weren't. Some of the lots were developed, some of them weren't. That area has continued interest in development, but because the roads weren't built out, it's very expensive to come in and build a road out just to develop one piece of land. But I predict that will develop out over the years. That's Hawkins Avenue subdivision, Hollins Drive subdivision, which was called Robertson Heights at the time, 1961. Ashley Heights in 63, which back then was called Hawkinstown Circle, is now called Hawkinstown Loop Road. This was the Woodfield development that started in 88. And then some additions to that through the years. The reserve over on Alderman Road started out in 2008, and then various additions to that. The latest one that you see getting close to being built out now to the west of the parcel we're looking at today is Country Club Village subdivision. It was done in 2023. This is the Hawkins Meadows townhome project that I mentioned earlier. Again, turn to the left. If you turn it 90 degrees to the right, it would be pointing in the right direction. That's 140 townhomes that are being built as we speak. This slide shows you a few excerpts from the comprehensive land use plan that was adopted some time ago by this board after review of the planning board and of the public hearings that went along with that process. And I won't read the text to you, but basically what this tells you is that the comprehensive land use plan supports this type of development in this area, higher density residential development. It goes on to express some of the reasons why. Traffic has been mentioned as a concern by many of the residents in the area at the hearings we've had. So I did a little more digging on the traffic information. NCDOT handles the determination of driveways and street intersections on this road, state road. And the way they measure it is with a number called the AADT, annual average daily traffic. And they put those rubber strips across the road and actually count the number of cars that go by to come up with these numbers. So it's not a guess, it's an actual measurement of traffic flow. In talking to the NCDOT engineer, he explained to me that when a new development comes along, they calculate the possible impact based on 10 AADTs per house. Each house would add 10 to that number. By their rules and regulations, a new development must be estimated to increase the traffic on that road by 3,000 movements before a traffic impact statement is required by NCDOT. And even if they do the traffic study, the actual impact levels based on the study have to be at least 4,000 ADT increase before NCDOT can require improvements such as turn lanes and signalization of intersections. So we dug into their website to find out what the AADTs were on Hawkinstown Road. And what I did was pick the latest measurement that they had actually done, and also went back some years to try to figure out what the highest measurement they had ever had. That's what these numbers represent. On the west end of Hawkinstown Road, the highest AADT that they had measured was in 2004 at 1,200. The latest was 750. On the east end, 1,700 AADT in 2007, 1,500 in 2023. For comparison, what would be obviously a much busier road, Old Moxville Road to the west there, where the arrow points, at 4,800 AADT in 2024. So by these measurements, Hawkinstown Road is not a busy road in NCDOT's mind at this time. Certainly might be in the mind of the residents that live there. But by NCDOT standard, it's not a busy road. If we do the calculations on the Hawkins Meadows townhomes and this 30-home subdivision that's proposed, that's 170 homes being added at 10 AADT per home. That's 1,700 movements added to what was there. The only way I could guess in which direction the traffic would flow is half of it would go one way and half of it would go the other way. So I added those numbers to the highest numbers that we've measured before. I got the west end of Hawkinstown Road up to a little over 2,000, the east end up to 2,350. So again, going back to those numbers the NCDOT looks at, this is nowhere near the 3,000 that would trigger an impact study, nowhere near the 4,000 that would require term limits. And surprisingly enough, this doesn't matter. NCDOT takes these measurements to keep track of their roads and how much traffic's on them, more to keep track of maintenance requirements than keep track of how busy the road is. What they really are concerned about is wait time at intersections. This is a chart that came out of the Longs Ferry Road study that we did a couple of years ago, where they were concerned about the level of traffic on Longs Ferry Road being increased due to all the industrial and commercial development along that road. This chart shows you that NCDOT measures intersections by how long you have to sit at the intersection and grades them A through F. This is the chart that they came up with for Longs Ferry Road that shows you the existing, which are A, B's, and C's as far as the quality of the intersection wait time, gives you the actual wait times listed there, and then estimates what it will be in the future. The 2030 estimate is the 2030 with no improvements, shows all the intersections failing, F's and E's. I show you this not because Longs Ferry Road is similar to Hawkinstown Road, but anybody that drives Hawkinstown Road knows that when you come to the intersection of either 7th Street or Old Moxville Road, if there are two cars in front of you and you have to wait 5 seconds to turn onto those roads, that's a long way. So by NCDOT standards, the intersections are nowhere near being concerned. They would be graded as they were being intersections. So that's why I give you all that information. As an annexation issue, we always come to you and discuss the cost versus the benefit. Obviously, the benefit to the town financially is the increase in property tax, the increase in sales tax revenue. You see those numbers calculated there based on 30 homes at $300,000 per home. And we were told in the neighborhood meeting that these homes would be closer to $400,000. So those numbers will be higher than what we show here. The cost is in our requirement to provide fire protection, police protection, garbage pickup, yard waste, and road maintenance, although road maintenance will be added to our power bill income. But we have checked with our department heads. They have told us that their current staffing and equipment levels will cover the cost of doing this. So they don't anticipate any large increase in cost. There will be obviously some labor involved in picking up the garbage and doing everything in this area. This is the development sequence that we've gone through. The preliminary site plan review. We're working through the rezoning and annexation requirements that we're here tonight to have a public hearing about. Once we're through all that, we will work with the developer to finalize his site plan and various issues that go along with that. And then there will be a final subdivision plan approved that actually breaks out into lots, and then either the sale of lots or the actual developer building homes on those lots. They will be individually owned lots, but because there is a stormwater management system that will be a commonly owned facility, they will have to have a homeowners association so that they would be responsible for taking care of that common infrastructure. I'll be glad to answer any questions, or you can have your public hearing.
Mr. Blunt, if somebody chose to buy more than one lot, would that be something that could happen?
I am sure that the developer would love to sell one or more lots to anybody that wants a larger parcel to build a house on. And if they want to build a bigger house, that would be the way to handle it, is to buy 2 lots instead of 1. To make the required or desired profit level for their investment in the road and the water and the sewer, what they have come up with is the 30-lot subdivision. And when they do the math, they come up with, I believe we mentioned in the neighborhood meeting, that it would be about $40,000 per lot. So if somebody wanted to buy 2, you'd be spending $80,000 on the land. 1 acre lots in the town of Spencer are valued at about $75,000 a lot. So that would not be an unreasonable amount.
Second question, the slide that you showed in comparison to Hawkins Meadows versus the two properties. Hawkins Meadows runs further back on the property toward the creek. This property looks like it stops, the preliminary plan looks like it stops further closer to Hawkinstown Road.
Both properties were limited as to how far they could go towards Grants Creek by where the floodplain line was. On the Hawkins Meadows, it was a little bit lower than it is on this property. So about 60% of this property is buildable, the rest is unbuildable.
What are they going to do with this property that it's not buildable?
It will remain undeveloped at this time, other than the playground that will be there. There will be a sewer easement that will run down to the sewer line that's at Grants Creek. And then we are working with the property owner. As you're aware, the Grants Creek Greenway project that we've been working on. We need to build a bridge somewhere, and this is the opportune place to build a bridge. So they will, in all likelihood, feed the lower part of the land to the town of Spencer.
Okay, stormwater, is that going to migrate to the back of that lot?
It all runs downhill, and that's why the stormwater pond was at the bottom of the lot.
So that's where it's going to go.
So there will be, as a street that will be turned over to the town of Spencer, it will have curb and gutter and storm drainage collection along the road. So the water will run in storm pipes down to the collection pond, settle out the sediment at that point, and then flow down to Grants Creek.
Okay. How big are these parcel lots?
They range in size from close to the minimum, which is 5,000 square feet for the RMST, up to something larger than that. I think it's like 7,000 might be the largest lot.
Will they have their own building specifications, or that developer said they're going to have their own?
The developer told us in the neighborhood meeting that he hopes to build the houses himself, and therefore he will impose some standards as far as the quality of construction. But by us not managing building inspection, Rolling County does that for us. When we rezone something, we have to depend on them to make sure everything's built up to North Carolina State Building Code, and that's about as far as we can go. We have made some suggestions to avoid the appearance of a cookie cutter type development, to have multiple building designs and building finishes. And if you go out and ride through some of the other developments in the area, especially that last one that's being built, that's how they made the houses look a little bit different, is with different sod, different materials, different colors, different porch design. And I feel like the developer will do that with this development.
So it sounds like these houses would probably be high-end homes if they're going to cost like we're talking about between $300,000 and $400,000 for small.
You would think, but it's probably more like a middle to upper middle class in this day and age. to reach the designation of being a Class A high-end home, you're more in the $700,000 to $800,000 range.
And fire hydrants and everything are in there for.
That will be determined during the actual site plan approval process. We have in our ordinance a requirement that fire hydrants can be no more than 800 feet apart. And we always work with our fire marshal to let him determine where he wants those located along the street.
Water and sewers will be presented by the city of Sulphur.
Water and sewers by SRU. We will require street lighting and street signage as we have in the past. Street lighting will be by Duke Power under subcontract.
Okay. I see sidewalks will be developed.
Sidewalks on both sides of the street.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I think you've got at least one person that wants to talk to you about it, so I'll leave it there.
Oh, Mr. Birch? Yes, sir.
I got off, but
For your record,
I've been living on Hawkinstown Road.
For the record, could I have you state your full name and your
Johnny
address?
Lee Birch Jr.
And your address?
608 Hawkinstown Road.
Thank you, sir.
I've been living on Hawkinstown Road for about 13, 14 years. I love the country. I love it. I love coming home, sitting in my driveway, just relax, looking at the fields in my backyard, across the street. The little part that they want to sell is right across the street. Now, at the beginning of Hawkinstown Road off of Marksville Avenue, they rezoned, they built all these $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 houses that I watched build. Ain't worth it. You puff and puff or a good wind to blow half of them houses back. You got enough room in between the houses that'll stretch from there to there. You ain't got no yard. They just steady building because the land is there. Me coming out my driveway every day with the rezoning and how traffic flies up and down that road, I could get hit any time for them coming over that hill. My daughter loves the country. She rides a four-wheeler down through there, and we enjoy ourselves. I don't pay city tax. That's great. I love my well water. I love that. Down in Hawkins Meadow, where they building now, quote unquote, got 2 apartments halfway finished, I guess. I've been going down in there for over a year now. I don't know if the land is bad or what, but it's like it's taking too long for them to do like they did at Country Club, what they about to finish now. And I go down through there, the reservoir, you can see where people got hunting things up down there, like it was just, one of my partners lived right beside it. His grandparents owned it. I don't know if Mr. Davis sold that land or whatever, how they did. And right across from me, right beside the land they're trying to sell, is a friend of mine, Miss Terry Bryant. She's old, Terry's old, and she has a lot of land, and I'm sure she don't want to sell half of what she got right there. It's a little slick. And as far as it's going back to, like he asked, well, where does it cut off, and what's going to happen with that piece of land? Me personally, I've been with this man for a long time. I love where I'm at out there. With Hawkinstown Meadow, whenever they finally finish that, and then with Country Club, and Lord have mercy, they'll be looking to buy the land behind my house then to put something on back behind there that goes behind Calvary Church. I mean, I don't have the money that people have to just buy land and build what they want on it, and that's all good. But sometimes I feel like things should just be left alone. It's too much is, not great all the time.
Birch, I want to thank you for your time.
Y'all time.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, Mr. Birch. Okay. Is there anyone else? Okay. How you doing, sir? You can state your name and address.
I was talking to someone in the back, so I apologize.
Craig Thomas. And 1840 Hollywood Drive is my address. Where we own 608 Hawkins Town.
Yes, sir.
So, and I have nothing against builder, nothing against development for a town to a degree. Again, Mr. Bird stays in our property. Been a faithful tenant for years now. I grew up in Hawkins Town. That is my home good. I told somebody one time, I have loved it there. We moved when I was 14, I'm not sure, not sure. But nonetheless, it is the hardest thing for us to imagine. 30 houses across from 608. Street coming through, I guess a two-way street, I'm assuming. If you see that piece of land, you have to wonder how people would do that. And I guess all things are possible, but it's going to be a tight fit. And it takes away from the homey feeling of now. Many of the families who've been there for years and years since I was born are still there. The Wilsons are still there. Some of the original Hawkins are still there. Some of the Hall family is still there. So it means a lot to us. And just to see something of that magnitude, that small piece of land, it's hard to really fathom. It really is. I'm a proud product of Hawkins Town North Rand Schools. Mr. Secrets, I've known her for years and years. I know Mr. Muhammad as well. And I always support, best I can, what's happening as far as development. But I've also known over the years, at the same time, I've got to be honest. And if I don't see it, I've got to let you know, I just don't see it. And again, nothing against the builder. To be honest, we kind of had somewhat of a hard time when Hawkins Meadows was proposed. 140, now let's count. And I kept telling somebody that, no, it can't be right. And they kept saying, no, it's right. I thought, you sure? We double checked and double checked and double checked. And of course, Country Club Village. And the first one wasn't too bad, but years ago, if you remember, those who were around, there was a big oak tree in Philadelphia. And for years, you were told you would never ever go out here and build a house. Houses or what have you. And of course, now the only trees you see are the trees planted sparsely in that development. And again, those to a degree are cookie cutter homes. They're slightly different in appearance, but still the same home. So again, our concern is we can't see. We don't agree with that type 90-foot development being in that location. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you too for your time, Mr. Thomas. Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay, with that being said, we call for a motion at this time to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Alderwoman Press. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Sledge. All those in favor, show of hands. Those opposed? Motion carries. The public hearing is closed. At this time, we're going to review Tuesday, July 14th, 2026 agenda. Or is there anything that you feel should be removed from the consent agenda as we review the agenda?
Maybe we should talk about the temporary road closure to just make people aware of it, rather than leave that on consent. Does anybody agree or disagree?
I agree.
We can be aware. Okay. Is there a volunteer for the invocation?
Guess it's my turn.
Camilla?
You need to speak up. Y'all need to speak up more.
We're gonna whisper.
Right. Board of Staff, is there any additions or deletions that need to be added or removed from the agenda at this time? Okay. Okay, board, at this time, are there any recognitions that any member of the board would like to present to them? And if so,
Maybe a recognition of our celebration that was here for the 250th anniversary. Should we have that resolution presented, or the one that the proclamation, should that be presented as a part of our regular meeting?
It does not have to be. It certainly could be part of whether you like that proclamation read as part of a recognition or at a different point in the agenda. It certainly could be, but
we're still in the month of July.
yeah, it certainly would be appropriate to highlight that.
So where does it need to go?
Well, we've had proclamations during the recognitions. It may be looking at the agenda. That's probably a good place to add a recognition of the American 250 celebration, and could use that proclamation for some discussion.
And could we also, if possible, have a Chief Lanning introduce our new deputy chief to the community? Would he? Okay, that'll be wonderful.
And
Okay, thank you.
And what about the junior fireman?
I'm sure he's welcome.
Are there any additional minutes reviewed, Ms. Sledge, and the board would like to keep the consent agenda?
I have not read and approved the regular minutes at this time, but I feel like we can get that done before Tuesday, and those can be on the consent.
Okay, perfect.
Unless there's something major, don't anticipate any major changes. Our clerk does a great job.
So I guess at this time I'll go ahead and pledge with the board. The consent agenda, approval of the minutes from June 4th, 2026, June 9th, 2026, regular meeting. Considering adopting the ordinance 26-09, approving a temporary road closure on South Yakin Avenue for the purpose of facilitating the neighborhood block party on August 8th, 2026. We have considered adopting ordinance 26-06, amending the town's official zoning map dated September 10th, 2024, rezoning Rowan County GIS system parcel number 032112 located at 600 South Salisbury Avenue from TIV to MS. Zoning classification number 9, we have considered adopting ordinance 26-07, annexing Rowan County GIS system parcel 324052 at 607 Hawkinstown Road. Considering number 10, considering adopting ordinance 26-08, amending the town's official zoning map dated September 10th, 2024, rezoning the GIS parcel 324052 at 607 Hawkinstown Road from agricultural to residential Main Street on classification. Number 11, consider adopting resolution 26-08, directing the clerk to investigate petition to annex parcel 049003 at 850 Hackett Street. Number 12, town clerk to present certificate of sufficiency for petition to annex parcel 049003 at 850 Hackett Street. Number 13, consider and adopting the resolution 26-09 setting public hearing date for proposed annexation of parcel 049003 at 850 Hackett. Number 14, consider and adopting the resolution 2610 directing the clerk to investigate petition to annex parcels 044077 and 044019 on Lincoln Avenue. Number 15, town clerk to present certificate of sufficiency for petition to annex parcel 044077 and 044019 on Lincoln Avenue. Number 16, consider and adopting resolution 26-11 setting public hearing date for proposed annexation of parcel 044077 and 044019 on Lincoln Avenue. Number 17 will be our departmental reports: planning, code enforcement, police, fire, public works, finance, and active living. 18, the town manager's report. 19 will have requests and comments by mayor and the board. Need be. Number 20 will be executive session per the general statute 143-318-11 if needed. And number 21 will be the adjournment of the meeting. Board, at this time, is there anything else that needs to be added to the agenda?
Mr. Muhammad, Mayor Pro Tem Muhammad, we might want to at some point mention the fact that there is a Spencer Day recognition at the Cannonballers Ballpark on July the 18th. So that will be coming up very, very quickly. And just, I know we've posted it. I think there's probably something on the front of the building, but it might not hurt just to remind citizens that they can buy discount tickets to enjoy a night at the ballpark where Spencer will be honored.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm actually planning to, I will talk about that during my report next week again, if that suffices.
Okay. Yep. I know the Winterfest committee is planning to be there to promote Winterfest at that event as well.
Hey, that'd be perfect. That sounds good. That sounds like it'd be an amazing time at the ball field.
Yeah.
Especially representing and recognizing the town there. Okay. So the agenda has been set. Is there a need at this time to go into executive session? And if not, we'll proceed. We're at this point in the pre-agenda meeting for adjournment. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move to adjourn this meeting.
Okay, the meeting has been properly moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Stanley. All those in favor? This pre-agenda meeting has come to a close.